All my adoring fans, it is me, TJ, with the MMA Jackal. We are live and in color. And I already have somebody waiting in the chat. Western Mass says, bro shit his pants and that's why he's late. Incorrect. I have never shit. Well, no, that's not true. One time I was very sick. And I was like the new guy at work. Whoa! Get your stuff together. And I didn't want to like call off. It was like like I said, I was like the new guy, and I went in anyway. And we were doing hard manual labor, and it wasn't a good idea. I shat my pants. Paku, what is up, my brother? Look at Paku in the chat with his wrench, just wrenching around, freaking ready to bring down the wrench of justice onto anyone who tries to dare spam my chat. So what did you boys think of that those fights last night? Poirier, baby. What's up? I don't know if you guys got to see, I did a little like a little breakdown video or whatever, but man, I was so happy to see Dustin Poirier. Yeah, I'm gonna put this dip in my lip. Excuse me. What do you guys think about this angle? Eric did have a wrench first, but that's just because Eric like made this fucking channel. I was gonna say, Eric, we talked about the shadows. I'm gonna have to try like the light diffuser or something, because the moving away from the wall option isn't really feasible for me. So also, I came in here with the chat already loaded on my makeshift laptop. That's really just a tablet with a keyboard. So there was no like fumbling around, you know? We were like professional. The only crappy part is the live's only going to be like an hour. I was just going to say 45 minutes, but I'll go to like 10:15 just because I want to get a little bit of chillaxing time before I got to go to bed. Spartacus Sr., what's going on? For anyone who doesn't know, Spartacus Sr. is my pops, and he likes to come to these live chats. He's not a big MMA fan, but he's a big MMA Jackal fan. Had some, got some good news from the tax guy, so it looks like I'll be getting myself a real computer, and we'll be doing all sorts of new content, and we'll just be leveling up. So let's talk some MMA, guys. Where we at here? Vera isn't at top 10 guy without that chin. Now, don't go throwing like, you know, oh, Vera's a fraud, all this shit. He got styled on by arguably the greatest striker in the game right now, you know, and he didn't get put away. So, you know, I'm not going to say he's a bum. You know, let's kick him out of the UFC, all this shit. He lost one fight. We'll see how he builds back from here. But clearly, O'Malley is on a whole nother level. They're both predominantly striking fighters. And when it comes to throwing hands, O'Malley is the man. So, Paku said, love the fights. Me too, man. They were great. Literally just finished your recap vid. What'd you think? Did you like it? I thought it came out good. Like, I don't know. I wasn't digging how I was doing them before, like doing a full fight recap. Just from now on, that's exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take notes through all the fights when I watch them, and then do just do like a recap of the things I am interested in talking about, you know? like women's MMA. Ha! Spartacus Senior wants to know if I was getting some rest. No, I was not. I chilled out a little bit when I got home, and then I started making a video and grinding. I'll get some good rest tonight, Pops. I promise. UFC Casual said I had to sacrifice my sleep pattern for $2.99, but it was well worth it. Yeah, me too, man. When the fight ended, it was like what 1:30 my time. The next thing you know, that half hour goes by like that, and then the clock just jumped to 3 a.m. Then I had to be up at 7 to take my daughter to work, and then we had a bunch of stuff going on today. I had a bunch of stuff I had to do, so I'm whooped. I am whooped. Eric Swanson just finished the recap video, too. What do you guys think? You like it? Spartacus Cedars says, Paku, you the man. Western Mass shouting out Spartacus Senior. UFC Casual. Oh, he had to sacrifice his sleep pattern. Wow, Eric Swanson's going to be here for the whole live. Awesome, dude. I have to watch more DC Jones footage. Yeah, I'm a huge DC fan, so I don't like watching too much DC Jones footage. Go Bills, baby. Go Bills. Hap says, what up, boys? What's up, Hap? Good seeing you, man. Eric said, I don't think a good chin is something we should take away from someone, though. Durability is huge in a fight. Absolutely. Durability is huge. But it's like one of those God-given things that you can't work on, so no one's going to, you don't get like too much credit for it. You know what I'm saying? You can't really work on your durability. You kind of get so much, and whatever you got, and then you just lose it from there, Hap said, my lungs hurt because when Poirier KO'd Benoit Saint-Denis, I literally screamed so loud I thought I popped a vessel. One of the happiest moments of my MMA watching journey. Yeah, dude, it was awesome. I was watching the fights with my cousin, and we were like, oh, I was so pumped. I didn't put any bets on the fights because I don't know. I don't know if it was like everything I was listening to and everybody's on Benoit Saint-Denis, But I'm like, I don't know. His last win is against Matt Frivola, and he's going to fight Dustin Poirier. Give the guy some credit. But I was also kind of like, I would not have been surprised at all if Benoit Saint-Denis sunk in a rear naked choke in that first round, But man, when Dustin jumped the guillotine, then let it go, and then knocked him out, oh, it was beautiful. And the way he just came down with that one fist of fury to end it, oh, it was great. It was just great. UFC Casual said, finish 7 a.m. in the UK. Yeah, that's tough. I feel bad for you guys that, I bitch and complain because main events end at 1:30 in the morning and stuff. But here we go. We got Paku's 7 days ahead at 2 a.m. or whatever the hell goes on where he's at. And then you guys in the UK, you're all... So if you're in the UK on average, say a fight at my time, the usual pay-per-view starts at 8 p.m. here. I'm on East Coast time in the U.S. So what would that be for you? What time does the typical pay-per-view start? Well, I should say the prelims, the early prelims start at 6 and the regular prelims start at 8. Western Mass, was it a case of Cheeto don't belong in there with O'Malley, or is O'Malley just that good? I think O'Malley's just that good, plain and simple. I think he is... If not the best, technically, he's certainly the most fun striker to watch in modern MMA. I mean, he's even more fun than Michael Venom Page and those. He's so good. He is so good. One of the things that impressed me the most is when he hit Cheeto with that knee. and he hurt him, he knew the exact amount of pressure to put on him. You know, he's like, okay, this guy's hurt. This could be an opportunity, but he didn't like empty his tank or open himself up in any way at all. Like, he is defensively sound. And looking at his frame, you're like, how can this dude who's built like a string bean generate this kind of power? And I think it's the combination of his accuracy with his speed. He just hits you at the perfect time, and you're completely out of position. You're not ready for it. And I mean, the dude's a bit of a chode, like his whole persona. I'm not a fan. Sean O'Malley isn't somebody. If they asked me, like, you could hang out with a UFC fighter for a day, Sean O'Malley wouldn't be in my top 20. But when it comes to striking, he's the man. John Dong says, hey, what's up, John Dong? Good seeing you in here, bro. He wants to see Michelle Pereira versus Shara Putin so badly. Shara Putin, who is that? Is that you mean that, whatever Bullet, Sharapova Bullet, or whatever that is? I forget that guy's name. Yesterday was one of my favorite experiences ever watching MMA. Jan came back, Poirier slept BSD like a legend. Let's go. For sure, dude. That was great to see Jan win, too. Like I said, if you guys watch my little recap video, you'll see how I feel about that. But what a big fight for him. Like, what a difference that one fight makes. You know what I mean? Like, now he's coming off a win against Song Yadong with a win against Corey Sandhagen in his back pocket. And he's at, like, 4 in the division, just ready to do his thing. Whereas if he lost, he would have been, on a 5 of his last 6 losing streak. Like, just totally, what a huge win for the guy. And especially after that first round where it looked like it wasn't going to go his way, I mean, it was close. The whole fight was close, but happy for him. Eric Swanson said, oh, Western Mass. I literally blacked out after Dustin won. Had to watch main event this morning. Blacked out? Were you drunk? Did you pass out? Were you just tired? As someone who is good at taking a punch to the face, I don't really want to work on that talent anyway, bro. Yeah, no one wants to work on their durability. That's the least favorite thing to work on. Hap said, even though I don't like him, O'Malley is the best striker I've ever seen perform. It doesn't even look real. This generation Silva. Yeah, 100%. Like, that's exactly who I think of as Anderson Silva. I remember watching that guy strike. He had a fight against Forrest Griffin, and he knocks him out with a jab. And I remember sitting there being like, I have never seen anything like this. Like, this dude is... And don't get me wrong, O'Malley's going to get crushed one day. One day someone's going to outstrike O'Malley. Like, not even take him down and beat him up. Like, he will end. But right now, March 10th, 2024, Sean O'Malley may be the best striker on the planet when it comes to mixed martial arts. He might be. I'm not, everyone's making O'Malley's the greatest striker of all time videos. And, let's just... a little recency biased on that. But, man, is he awesome. Hap, I think O'Malley's great at mixing up his strikes. I think Max is a great boxer, but for real, Sean's kicks and how he mixes it up is great. Yeah, like, it's not just it's everything that goes with it. Like, Paco can speak to this. His footwork, his timing, the feints with his hips, it's just everything. He's a total package when it comes to MMA striking. Eric Swanson wants to know who everyone's favorite strikers are. Current strikers or all-time MMA? Current, I'd have to go Sean O'Malley. You know, all time, Anderson Silva, just because he was so almost like revolutionary at the time. Like we've never seen anything at that level. John Dong says O'Malley and Yan are his favorite strike. Or I'm sorry, O'Malley and Yair. Yeah, Yair's kicks are like badass. Hab said his favorites are O'Malley, JDM, MVP, and Yair. Yeah, Jack Della, man. How about him with the comeback win? His corner's like, hey, they shot it to him straight. Like, listen, dude, you need to finish. And then you got freaking Gilbert Burns on your back trying to strangle you out. And there's less than 2 minutes left in the fight. And I know I referred to it a couple times already, but in my video I broke down how he did a Granby roll from already being on the ground. Like that's some high level wrestling right there. Like that's a legit wrestling move that, you know, for an Australian who's a striker, dude's been putting the work in the gym. So he does a Granby roll, you know, right into that knee. And I mean, I love Gilbert Burns, but I was happy for JDM. I mean, anytime you pull it out of the fire like that, nothing but respect. Paku said, I ended up plus 3 units on the day. Not me, dude. I broke even, but I had 20 on that greasy 4-legger. And well, all right, let's see what you say here. Money back on track bets plus a 3 unit on untracked bets. My bookie gave me a plus 230 on the Dustin Poirier money line and a plus 160 on MVP. Oh, okay. That's where you came out. Good night for you. Awesome, dude. I'm glad it worked out for you. That's awesome. Western Mass. Let me end this right now. I need O'Malley versus Topuria. No, you do not. No, you do not. O'Malley has 1 title defense. That was 2. This is 1. He's had 1 title defense. The only reason he wants to fight Topuria is because it's a win-win situation for him. He gets to go up a weight class, and if he loses, he has a built-in excuse that, well, the guy is way bigger than me. I mean, I went up a whole weight class. Of course I lost. And, I'm still the champ, and I get to go back down and defend my belt. No. You got a whole division full of absolute savages like that. Corey Sandhagen, Merab Dvalishvili, you know these guys. Clear out the division, get 4, 5, 6, 7 title defenses under your belt, and then move up a weight class and fight Topuria. Topuria's got work to do at 145. All right? I have zero desire to see O'Malley go fight Topuria. We have too much good MMA to happen where it's at. You don't need to be a double champ after 1 defense. 1 title defense. Settle down. Eric Swan said, I like that distinction. When you said MMA strikers, I come from a boxing background when it comes to striking, and that's not the same as MMA. No, absolutely not. And anytime you got, just like MMA wrestling is different than pure collegiate wrestling. Anytime you got to worry about getting kicked in the head or even choked for that matter, the way a pure collegiate wrestler can shoot a shot with his head totally off to the side and not have to worry about getting choked, it's different. And same with striking. When you don't have to worry about leg kicks and knees and elbows and shit like that, it's going to be a totally different sport. Umar will outstrike and outwrestle O'Malley. Here we go. We got Umar Nurmagomedov coming up in the division. No business going up to 145. Just we don't need that. And then O'Malley goes up there and gets a beating like nobody's business, and it changes him forever. And now we don't get to experience all of the O'Malley we could have. You know what I mean? I'm totally against the idea, if you couldn't tell. Umar will outstrike and wrestle O'Malley. He is not the greatest striker in the UFC, but he is good. His fadeaway jab and his counter two is what makes him so good. Yeah, and just his speed, accuracy, and flashiness, The way he throws like, I don't know, his conventional strikes look flashier than a regular, just Chito Vera and O'Malley can throw the exact same combination and it just looks prettier when O'Malley does it. I think it's because it's faster. It looked like it was two guys trying to do the same thing and one was just way better than the other because that's what it was. I completely get you, TJ, and I usually don't like champ fights, but I think that is the most exciting fight in the UFC right now. No way! First of all, the most exciting... Dude, there's so many exciting fights in the UFC right now that we could make. Like, how about John Jones versus Tom Aspinall? And, how about we see O'Malley fight a wrestler like Merab? Who's got an endless gas tank. And there's it's a little weird at 145 because Max is going up to fight Justin, and Max might be like a good test for Topuria. It kind of looks like there's not much for Topuria there. But O'Malley has way too much work to do at 135, Way too much work to do. Hap said, I'm just going to say it. O'Malley could sleep Topuria. He could. He absolutely could. He could. And I could win the lottery. No, I'm just kidding. But, I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it. I'm just saying there's no need for it, John wants to know, how do you think Prime Edson Barbosa does against top featherweight strikers like Yair, Holloway, Cater? Didn't include Ilya because he would destroy Prime Barbosa's good. He's like, he's a lot like Yair, He was very kick heavy. His switch kick is probably the fastest we've ever seen in the game, He just wasn't very complete. I always liked Barbosa, but it always seemed like there was just a little something missing, I don't know. He was good. He's kind of like Charles Oliveira light. Without the super awesome jiu-jitsu. Paku said, I do not want to see O'Malley versus Ilya. There are contenders at 35 and 45. They both need to clear out their own divisions. Amen. Brandy S. says, what's up? Wow. We have an actual girl in the chat. That's a first. Well, I don't know if it's an actual girl, but someone who claims to be a girl in the chat. What is up, Brandy? Thanks for the support. I appreciate you being in here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I think Edson does all right versus Yair, but loses. Gets eaten by Holloway and beats Cater. Yeah, Cater is, after that happened to him, he was never the same. Eric Swanson. Hi, Brandy, my wife's here. Hey, it's an actual female. The first ever girl in the chat. Hello, Eric's wife. Nice to meet you. I can't lie. I used to be with you on the Topuria Smokes O'Malley thing, but after tonight, it's 50-50 to me. He's way bigger. And look what he just did to Volk. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm way more excited for than Ilya versus O'Malley? How about O'Malley versus Umar? How about O'Malley versus Sandhagen? How about O'Malley versus Dvalishvili? TJ, I never asked for your opinion on weight classes, cutting and merits of cutting versus going for a more natural weight when going into a fight. What are your thoughts? Well, it's fighter to fighter. You know what I mean? Some guys are do way better fighting really close to their natural weight. Some guys are better off taking advantage of their ability to cut 30 pounds or whatever it is, you know. As far as weight classes themselves, I had a really good discussion with AJ from MMA Experts, and I'm a big proponent of start at 125, and I was saying go to 205 and have a weight class every 10 pounds, but he has changed my opinion because light heavyweight and heavyweight are rather thin right now anyway. So let's just go from 25 to 85, have a weight class every 10 pounds. So basically what that means is you're adding a 165 and you're moving 170 to 75. That's all. So you're basically just adding one weight class. And I'm all for that. I think there's a lot of like in-betweener guys that would really benefit from that. One guy that who am I gonna I'm gonna forget his name now. Who's that? All right, chat, help me out. Who's the guy who had a really good fight against Israel Adesanya? And he's like that perfect tweener guy. He did good. He lost to him, but he's like, whatever. Anyway, there's a lot of fighters that are like in between. So I think there's plenty of talent out there to add one more weight class. And yes, Kelvin Gastelum. He's like a perfect tweener kind of fighter who would really benefit from an in between weight class. Just having an option. It's such a big jump to go from 170 to 185. That 15-pound jump right there is huge. Now 185 to 205. There's just not that much talent right now to add a 195. I don't think. But by no means do I think it's going to turn it into boxing. And now we got to, like, boxing has like 137 and all this stuff. Just add one more weight class, move 170 up 5 pounds, and it kind of opens it up for everybody. But cutting weight as a practice just in itself is just, it's super unhealthy, but it's kind of the nature of the beast. I don't really know. One claims to have, but their hydration. So basically, and this is how it works, like in high school wrestling and stuff, is in the beginning of the season you have to take a piss test and be hydrated, and then you can only fluctuate so many pounds from that hydrated weight you weighed in and at the beginning of the season, and that's how one does it. But guys, like, they were saying they'll go take the test, and I don't know how they get around it, but they go and they cut a ton of weight, but then they'll like fill up their bladder, and then they'll cut a ton of weight, and then they'll pee. There's always a workaround, but weight cutting in itself is a horrible practice. It's not right. We got kids in 7th grade, 9th grade, and here in America doing it for wrestling. I'd like not. But I don't know of a better way, I'm getting a little behind on the chat. If I missed your chat, just let me know. I got a little behind. How do you think? I already read that one. I do not want to see. I already read that one. Western Mass. So the UFC is not a meritocracy. Accept it. It's a circus, and I'm all about it. Yeah, and it's not like that bad. It's not like Cheeto had no business being in there. He has a win over the guy. And, yeah, were there like 100% by the books? Were there more deserving people? Yes, but it's a bit subjective, We're not like, this isn't the PFL with their season and all that shit, and they don't follow it anyway, So, it is what it is. There's always going to be some subjectiveness, if that's a word, subjectivity, to who gets the shot, you know? And I'm fine with that. But for the most part, it's, you know, the most deserving people. Like, it gets a little weird, you know, like guys like Muhammad right now, he deserves that shot at 170, and they're just not giving it to him because he's a boring wrestler, you know. But I think sooner or later, if you just keep winning, you can't be denied, you know. Eventually, John Fitch got the title shot against GSP. You know, they put it off so long he wasn't the fighter he was when he first deserved it. But eventually he did get it, you know. And I guess that's the biggest problem with it too, is they can choose to put it off so long that you aren't the guy you were when you first deserved it, and that could affect things, you know. Eric Swanson said she's definitely a girl. He can vouch for that. He has proof. He, he has proof. I haven't seen a lot of people, but you giving props to JDM's defensive grappling in that fight. Burns got into dominant positions multiple times, and JDM escaped and looked calm. Dude, 100%. Maybe just people don't understand the danger that he was in. I mean, he was in the mouth of a crocodile, and he escaped. Like, that is what Burns does. He's not a wrestler, you know. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter with really good takedowns. So once he gets his hands on you, it's usually game over for a lot of guys. You know, obviously we've only seen him in there with the best of the best for the past few years, but understand that in a competition where the only thing you're doing is grappling, you don't have to worry about strikes or anything else. Gilbert Burns was the best in the world 4 times in a row when it's just pure grappling. And JDM is a striker, and he did a Granby roll, like a modified Granby roll, to get out and then knock him out. I mean, his defensive wrestling was excellent. After last night, I would pick O'Malley to sleep Merab in 2. Maybe I'm an O'Malley fan right now. It happens. I mean, it's just natural. We get like recency bias, you know. We see a performance like O'Malley put on last night, and you're like, it's one of the greatest things you've ever seen, and you can't even comprehend how this guy could lose to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, it happens to everybody. The same thing happens to me. I'm like, you know, I remember thinking, like, who is ever going to beat Izzy? Like, look at this guy. And then I remembered, like, oh yeah, remember Anderson Silva? It was, who is ever going to beat Anderson Silva? It certainly wasn't going to be Chris Weidman, right? Well, it was Chris Weidman, in case you guys didn't know. It's so annoying how people like Lucas Tracy are trying to take away Dustin's performance, crying about Benoit Saint Denis staph infection. He chose to step in there and got slept. That's not a new thing. I mean, guys fight all the time with staph infection. And that's why it's so common. That's why the commission allows it. You take antibiotics, and antibiotics 100% absolutely do affect your cardio. But Benoit Saint Denis didn't lose because he gassed out. He lost because he's not a good defensive striker, and he was in the cage with Dustin Poirier. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't lose because of staph infection. Did it play a role? I'm sure it did. I'm sure whatever he ate before that played a role, and everything plays a role. You know what I mean? What kind of sneakers he was wearing when he was putting in his road work, that played a role. It's all a factor, but the staph infection was not, it wasn't the defining factor in the fight. That's for sure. I noticed that when I get excited and hit this table, my camera shake, so I'm going to stop doing that. I'll keep my hands to myself. It was a fluke win. We can all see that now. What was a fluke win? Personally, I don't think cutting 20 pounds is difficult. Well, it ain't easy. However, the lengths that guys go through, i.e. the dehydration, is a bit extreme. Just get serious with your nutrition. Well, there's a difference between losing 20 pounds and cutting 20 pounds. Like, you cut 20 pounds because you want to have as much mass as you possibly can. And then you just, so when you weigh in, you're not losing anything. You're just sucking water out of your body that you are hoping to replenish before the fight. Now, one thing I think they need to implement is they need to have IVs back in it. Like, taking away the fighter's ability to rehydrate with IVs is stupid. Like, I get it. They say they can use it to, like, mask steroid use or something. But just figure out a way for them, if plain and simple, if you want to rehydrate using an IV, well, you got to come to the UFC facility and have it administered by, the UFC being watched by the commission. Do it like that. Why take it away? I mean, it's such a great way to rehydrate after 24 hours before you're about to go accrue some of the possibly life-changing brain damage. You want as much fluid around your brain as you can possibly get. You know what I mean? And if getting an IV can help with that, then by all means, don't take that away. Just make it, if guys use it as a way to cheat, take the cheating out of it. Don't just take the IVs away. Man, sorry, I don't mean to be getting behind here. Paku said 55, 65, 75, 85, 205, done. 55 and 70 are stacked enough to fill a 65. I agree 100%. And still be elite. 100%. Jalen, Chandler, Islam, they'd all be better at 65. I agree. I love Jack Della Maddalena or JDM. But if Gilbert Burns is forcing you to slow your pace with just the threat of a takedown and taking round 2 and almost 3, the whole top 5 beats him. Well, we'll see. I mean, Gilbert Burns is elite. Elite. And not just at grappling. He's an elite striker. Well, I don't know if he's an elite striker. He's an elite MMA fighter. Like, I'm taking nothing away from JDM. His performance was excellent last night. Eric Swanson wants to know, O'Malley versus Mighty Mouse. Like, today, if they agreed to fight next, like they both get a fight camp today, who wins? Whew. Man, I was such a Mighty Mouse fan. Like, I was such a fan of the lower weight classes because of, like, the WEC and all that shit. And when Mighty Mouse left, I'm like, man, we're really losing something to just to get rid of this whole thing. Today, DJ takes, I don't know. he's getting old, He's getting old. I would have to give it to O'Malley just because he has Father Time on his side, and DJ is what, 36, 37, something like that, 38. Today, I think if they fought today, I would go with O'Malley. Hap said, I love Mighty Mouse, but he's too small for these UFC bantamweights. The game's changed. The game's changed into something that he started. Like, it's become more well-rounded. Like, when he was the man, he was the only one who was striking as good as his wrestling at that lighter weight class. Like, he was a complete fighter. Complete fighter. John Dog said, seeing all those top bantamweights, past and present in the same building was cool. O'Malley, Cheeto, Jan, Yadong, Marab, Sanhagen, and Faber. Wish Cruz and TJ were in the crowd as well last night. Yeah, they could have took a group picture, right? It was kind of weird. Like, yesterday was kind of like the old guys versus the young dudes, wasn't it? A lot of like, there was like a lot of that going on. Did you see the size of that Morales Mighty Mouse beat at 1FC? Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing. These guys over in 1FC, they're like, well, their bantamweight is like 130. Like, their 125ers are like 35 pounders. You know? They're like a whole another weight class above. But yeah, those dudes over there are big. Well, those little guys over there are big. Lucas had a stream after Benoit Saint Denis said that he had a staff and said that Saint Denis beats Dustin 7 out of 10 times. That's actually a joke. Yeah. He must have had like some crazy video that said like Saint Denis is gonna destroy him or something. I literally just started watching that Lucas dude like last week. Or subscribed to his channel. Ajay, what's up, my brother? Good to see you in the chat, man. Eric Swanson is talking to John Dong and said, I don't like Cruz at all, but it's not because he lacked talent. His boxing was so weird, it just made my head spin. Dominic Cruz it's like if you're anything above a casual MMA fan, you could see a silhouette, just a plain silhouette moving like Dominic Cruz, and you could be like, oh yeah, that's Dominic Cruz. No one has ever moved like him. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but he just had this totally unique, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. The way he would, like, I can't do it because I'm sitting in a chair, and I can't do it because I'm not Dominic Cruz. But you know what I mean? He just moved unlike anybody I've ever seen. It's fucking 10 o'clock at night. This sucks. Ajay said, I made so much off Poirier and MVP. I was this close to being like, you know what, dude, I just got to throw down on Dustin. This is my boy. I got to throw down on him. But I didn't. I ain't even going to pretend. I didn't. I thought Benoit Saint Denis was gonna choke him out. I really did. Brandy said, he said Mighty Mouse, and the cartoon character popped into my head. Mighty Mouse kind of does look like a cartoon character. That poor guy with his bald head and his giant ears. Like, he literally looks like Mickey Mouse. Paku said, Hap, I get it, but I'm not sure if you know how good Prime DJ was, bro. I got him beating any fighter that has ever fought at 125 or 35. Best fighter to ever step into the cage. Mighty Mouse very well may be the best fighter to ever fight. Like, he was that Pedro Munoz? Who was it? Mighty Mouse gets a body lock, picks him up in the air, spins him in the air, and then arm bars him. Like it was absolutely amazing. One of the greatest highlights ever in mixed martial arts. Yeah, I was talking about Demetrius Johnson. TJ, can you please explain how good Mighty Mouse was to my wife? It's hard to explain if you don't have an understanding of what these guys are trying to do. Like I said, he does things that no one else can do. It's like I said, it's hard to explain. It's like explaining what it feels like to be in a fast car. Like, you almost got to experience it. Watching him is just, his speed was just incredible. incredible. And it's just sad because there was like this weird stigma against smaller fighters for whatever reason that it just never sold. People never bought Demetrius Johnson pay-per-views because they want that. They want to know that these guys are big enough that with one strike they could end it, even if they're not that good, you know. But he was just like the epitome of talent. Everyone at that weight class is so small and so fast that if you're not at the absolute like top of your game, you're just gonna get ran over. And he mixed the martial arts like nobody else. Like, to this day, I can't tell you, is Mighty Mouse better at striking or grappling? Can anyone say? You know? Eric Swanson, I think today DJ takes it. Paco, he's definitely a GOAT, and I think he would be top 5, but I think the game is leaving him behind, in my opinion. Evolution. I don't agree with that. I don't think the game is leaving him behind. I don't think guys are doing things that he's not, that he can't do, or like it's just father time. He's just getting old, you know? And when you're that size, for whatever reason, age just catches. I think it's because they say power is the last to go, and speed, and it's not just speed, but like your timing, you know, your what's the word I'm looking for? Your reflexes. You're just, as you get older, those diminish, and we are talking about, you know, making decisions in fractions of a second that are the difference between the punch, like grazing your face and landing, you know, dead on. That's the difference between you taking a roundhouse kick and blocking it a little bit with your forearm and it just hitting you right in the side of the head, like fractions of a second. And that's what you lose when you get older. And it is so, those margins are so small at these lighter weight classes because these guys are so fast that as you age it makes such a big difference, you know. I would pay money to watch prime TJ Dillashaw versus Sean O'Malley. That's another thing. People don't realize how awesome TJ was. Like, what was it, like a year and a half? He didn't have a very long run, you know, but he beat, when he beat Jose Aldo, everyone was like, what? Who? TJ who? Experience and old man strength. Yes, I mean, he does have experience. And old man strength is certainly a thing, but I don't think it's a big enough factor at those lighter weight classes. Dillashaw's old lady left him because he was seeing chicks on the side. Really? Is that like a new thing, or would this happen back in the day? And I'm sure he was seeing chicks on the side. I would say Lucas is a smart guy and I enjoy his streams, but every once in a while he picks one guy to brown nose and it's so annoying. So I'm going to make it like like I said, I have a love for Max Holloway. Like I'm a fan of Max Holloway. After him, I'm going to try my hardest to not be a fan of anyone. One, because I want to be as objective as I can be. And two, I'm just so sick of watching my favorite fighters eventually lose. And they all do, you know? You can't root for a fighter like you can root for a sports team. DJ looks like Jerry from Tom and Jerry. That's funny. Lucas Tracy explains... Oh... He complains about stuff way too much. I gotta watch some of his stuff. Like I said, I don't have much of. I just subscribed to him like last week or something like that. So if you guys hear a lot of commotion, don't worry. My wife's just being rude and barging into my private studio. And
Your dog peed all over
all right,
the couch.
you and the dog, get out of here.
You're on the couch.
Yeah. John Knox, I got sick of him complaining about UFC 300 on every stream lately. I've been calling him Pukish Tracy. Yeah, I appreciate it. Every single one of you guys in this chat. There's like 6 of you in here now. You're like my 6 hardcore guys. I just came on here tonight. I just wanted to come make a live stream. I only had an hour to do it, so we've been going for 50 minutes. I'm going to get another 10 minutes under my belt. But Eric's 100% right. I appreciate you guys so much. And I appreciate Eric. If you guys don't know, he's actually a buddy of mine who is helping me out with YouTube and all this stuff. And the guy is just like a wealth of knowledge. And I can't explain to you the amount of legwork he has taken out of it for me, the amount of YouTube tutorials I don't have to watch because of him, and just, we wouldn't be having this live chat if it wasn't for him, probably. Thanks, bro. My wife said I was too mean in that video about women's MMA, but I don't know, I was just being honest. I want TJ and O'Malley to both be juiced up to the max. Like always in their primes. Paku said, reflexes, timing, and eyes scientifically get worse with age. Some people don't realize that your eyes are one of the most important parts of striking. Oh, 100%. It's like, it's your reflexes. Your eyes are seeing things that your conscious mind isn't even comprehending. You know, your eyes are seeing like his body tense up in ways, and you can tell that strike is coming. It's much different than grappling, which is like we literally practice grappling with your eyes closed because it's the opposite. You're not taking in information with your eyes. It's all feel. You know, you're feeling the person tense up. You're feeling their muscles relax. That's why you get so good at like just grabbing somebody and being able to determine their strength. You know, they don't have to grab you for you to know how strong they are. If you've been grappling a little while, you can like feel somebody and tell like, wow, this dude's really strong for his size. It's just like your body. Humans are amazing with the weird abilities that we have. But Paku's right. Your eyes are so important in striking, and then in grappling, it's like this innate sense that you develop because you're not using your eyes. Your eyes are closed, and like you're feeling how everything's moving. I disagree about rooting for a fighter. I accept that my favorite fighter will lose, but that doesn't mean that I don't like them. It's true. I mean, maybe I just get too extreme about things, you know? Like, I'm almost to the point where as much as I want to see it, I'm like nervous about Max fighting Justin because I don't want the inevitable to happen, you know? Hap said, you don't have to do that, TJ. There's a difference between you loving a fighter like Max versus Lucas literally sticking his nose up BSD's cavity till he has... Yes, everyone's thanking Eric. Dude, you are the man. He is the man behind the scenes that, well, you guys know about now, but like I said, I can't even explain to you how helpful he's been. I want to see Umar versus O'Malley so bad. Both are the most athletic in their divisions in the moments, and I think that fight would be close. Oh my God, 100%. Like it's just the perfect. Umar is like the next evolution of Dagestani fighters who just are bred to take people down and strangle them, but now they're also adding striking on. Like, I don't know, man. That is, I am, I am pumped. I actually, at the beginning of the year, my cousin and I texted each other each weight class and who we thought the champion would be at that weight class, and I picked Umar for the start of 2025 to be the champ. So he's got some work to do, but it's 100% possible. I don't know. He might not get there just because of the amount of fights that have to take place. You know, he has to move up in the ranks, and there's so many guys. I mean, what a stacked division! Isn't it crazy to think that just a few years ago they were talking about getting rid of 135 altogether, and now it's arguably the most exciting division in the entire sport? I don't know how O'Malley Holloway would go, bro. Would be such a close fight. I'd have to take. Oh, I know. I want to say Holloway, but now is that my bias? Is that because I like? Am I not looking at that objectively? Like, don't get me wrong. When this fight ended, there was nobody that was doubting Max could do anything. I mean, he just put on literally one of the greatest ass whoopings we've ever seen in the history of the sport. If not, I mean, statistically, it was the greatest ass whooping ever. He landed, I don't even know how many 100 significant strikes against Calvin Kattar. And, I mean, thanks to Calvin Kattar for being durable and staying in there. Or what Max Holloway did to Brian Ortega, you know, where he literally takes the guy's hands and puts them up in front of his face. Not even being a dick, just like really trying to be like, bro, just defend yourself a little bit. Here, let me punch you some more. Just such a cool dude and such a destroyer. Paku said, I'll be watching the Bam Bam line for this week. If I see it at even money or above, I'll max bet it early. I do what you do, bro. I ride with Paku when it comes to betting. The crazy thing, Hap, someone is going to come along in the next few years and make O'Malley look like an amateur. It always changes. Yeah, it's what I said earlier in the stream. There's going to come a time when O'Malley is going to get outstruck. You know, not even lose to a grappler or whatever. They're just going to, some kid's going to come along and he's going to outstrike O'Malley. If Khabib would have stayed in the game long enough, sooner or later somebody would have outgrappled him. It's just the nature of the beast. I think 135 and 55 are my favorite weight classes. Amazing skill there. Oh yeah, especially the past couple years, like, you know, when Justin and Dustin and Khabib and all those boys were in their prime. You know, what a stacked division 155 was. All right. Take Holloway. Fuck logic. Ride or die with your boy. Go Bills. That's right. You know what? You're right, Paku. What am I talking about? Yeah. Holloway beats the bricks off O'Malley. What are you talking about? Go Bills. Max was helping Ortega with his durability. Yeah. Dude, and he wasn't even being like a jerk about it. You know, he wasn't like being a dick and trying to show off. He was literally like, "Here, bro, come on, you got to keep your hands up. We're in a fight, you know?" Like he really cared about his well-being while also giving him brain damage. Don't overthink it. If you actually think Holloway is going to win, you'll know it in your gut. I'm picking Holloway also. I mean, was it the Calvin Kattar fight where he turned to the desk and he told him that he was that was Max, or that was the Ortega fight. It was one of the two. But he turned to the desk and he's like, I'm the best boxer in MMA. He's just such a beast. I love the dude. With that, I think I'm gonna sign off. I appreciate it, guys. It was like the fastest hour of my life. I get on here. I got to make sure when I do it that I have like 2 hour blocks, because I could go for another hour like no problem. Live streams are so fun. It's so much. I had a blast recording that like breakdown video I did today. That was good. I like the way I did it. I'm gonna do it that way from now on, instead of going through every single fight and telling you guys how tall they are and all. I'm just gonna take my notes during the fight and put little stars on the parts I want to talk about and then make a video for it. But sometimes it's hard to just sit down and look into a blank, look into the camera with no sound around you and just start talking and you hear the sound of your own voice. So coming on here and having a live and being able to interact with you guys is just so much more fun, especially because I have such an educated chat right now. Like, I'm sure the 5 dudes that are in here, every one of you probably know even more about MMA than I do. So it's just a blast. One thing I wanted to ask you guys before I go, how many of you in the chat right now have someone that's as educated on the sport as you that you can watch it with on a regular basis? I actually have my cousin, and I don't know, I just feel fortunate for that. It seems like the vast majority of hardcore MMA fans don't have like even one other person that understands it on their level that they could like have over their house to watch, Like, I have buddies that'll invite me over to watch the fights and stuff, for like the big ones. A couple of the guys said, oh, they're having a party for UFC 300. And I mean, it's cool to go hang out. But if you're not excited for fight night cards, then I'm not watching the pay-per-views with you, Dave Vegas said 0. I've said, not as educated. All my friends are casuals, but I find cool people to watch it with on YouTube, like this channel. 100%, bro. I respect that. I do not know more about MMA than you. I know about real fights, bro. I look up to you and hope to have a sparring sesh with you in the future so I can learn from you. 100%, Eric. I am telling you right now, like one day in the near future, we're going to meet up and we'll get the families together and have some shit. I can teach you a little jiu-jitsu. You can teach me a little shanking, maybe how to make a knife out of a toothbrush or something like that. Sorry. Baku said, nope, my mates are casuals. Have to explain each fight to them. You're my smartest MMA friend. Well, you're my smartest MMA friend when it comes to bets and striking. That's for sure, dude. You're a resource to my channel. Even just having you in the chat, I refer to you on a lot. Yeah, I thank you guys. It's been a blast. Like I said, it's like this hour didn't even happen. It was super fun. But all right. Like Paku said, it's been a killer stream. You guys have a great night. Enjoy the rest of it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Hey, if you didn't get to see my video yet, go check it out. I just dropped it. It's a $2.99 recap. I'm sure you guys all have watched a bunch of recap videos at this point, but instead of going down and breaking down every fight, I just kind of give you a little thought on the things I thought were important. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Go Bills. Go Bills. Let me see. All right, later, guys.